Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host Boise, and with the aftermath of what happened last week when Brock Lesnar attacked Paul Heyman and Kurt Angle with Ronda Rousey's first ever Raw matches, this week's episode of Raw was building up to be an absolute electrifying episode. So here we go, this is Smack Talk Raw Review. So we kicked off the show with Kurt Angle and Constable Baron Corbin in the ring, and they were addressing what had happened last week with the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Now there was a lot of bickering with both Corbin and Kurt Angle with each other, stating, look, Corbin, you kind of didn't help at all, and Corbin was like, well, you kind of deserved it. Roman Reigns' music hits and he goes, you know what, this is what happens when you kick me out of the building when Brock Lesnar's here. And he says, look, I'm going to get my title back. Kurt Angle literally says, I hope you win at SummerSlam, Roman. We need a true Universal Champion. What do I think so far? Well, this is great. A good opening to the show. Baron Corbin was being Baron Corbin as well, which got really into Roman's face. So Kurt Angle made the match. He announced it would be Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns to kick off the show because both men were ready for a fight. For me, this is fine. This is a good way to start the show. The fans are very much behind Roman right now, and you can see it's kind of working right now, where everyone is turned against Brock and everyone is very much behind Roman Reigns. For me personally, I wouldn't mind if Roman actually won the belt, because let's be honest, we want to see the Universal belt once in a while on Raw, and Roman would be on Raw every week. So for me, good opening segment. This bickering between Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle is entertaining, and let's be honest, Roman's promo was quite decent as well. So I'm going to give this a solid 5 out of 10. The match got started soon after Kurt Angle announced it, with Baron Corbin punching Roman Reigns in their face. It was quite a quick fight and match, really, it felt like. Both men really going all out from the start. Roman using the Superman punch and only getting a 2 count, which was really cool because it was like at the start of the match. Baron Corbin really showing off his techniques. I've got to say, I'm getting more and more impressed with Baron Corbin. I feel like he has elevated himself with the, commissioner, Constable Corbin stuff, which really is helping his character evolve. He feels like he is a mainstay in most big storylines, which is great. And him fighting Roman is him being the filler for Brock Lesnar, and I don't mind that. He's a good enough antagonist to be that villain. He's a good villain. He's definitely got that face you want to punch. Baron had enough by the end. He tried to walk away from the match, but his recent rival Finn Balor turned out of nowhere and got pretty much pushed Corbin back to the ring, which allowed Roman Reigns to spear him and get the 3 count. That wasn't the end though. Finn Balor got into the ring and used his finisher, the coup de grace, to pretty much state, look, Baron, I'm not finished with you, we're going to SummerSlam. And that's what got announced after their match. Finn Balor will be taking on Baron Corbin at SummerSlam. Altogether, how did I find this match? It was good. I think the Finn Balor bit does help their rivalry get involved a little bit more with him interfering, which was good. Corbin's a great filler for Brock Lesnar right now. He feels like someone. He's a good enough heel to feel like, he should be taking on, not yet Roman Reigns, but he's a good enough heel for the fans to really hate, and he's not too high up in the card that he would win. So it makes sense. Altogether, with all this in line, plus moving on the Finn Balor and Baron Corbin rivalry, I think this deserves a 6 out of 10. Next up, we got the match we've all been waiting for. It's the super match. Who cares about Undertaker taking on John Cena? Who cares about seeing The Rock return at WrestleMania? We got Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode, yeah, that's right. Mojo Rawley versus Bobby. You know that feud which is no one really cares about. Yeah, Bobby Roode won, beating Mojo Rawley. It's a Mojo Rawley match. Let's be honest, they've been building him slightly, Mojo, and then, let's be honest, Vince McMahon just goes, hold on, Bobby Roode has that really good entrance. Yeah, Mojo, you lose. And that's it. That's pretty much the end of the Mojo Rawley kind of push. I've got a feeling they will probably have a kickoff show match at SummerSlam. But this is, now I'm just literally going to go, the match was a 2-star match in my opinion, out of 10. There you go. And all I'm going to say is this. I feel so sorry for Bobby Roode since he's come to the main roster. I honestly think he has been treated like, it just feels so wrong how he's been treated in the main roster. It's a shame. He's a shell of what he formerly was. He was a brilliant heel, you know, corporate villain in NXT, and now he's more, oh, he's got a really good entrance music, and that's it. I just don't understand how WWE NXT stars can just be used like this by Vince. It just makes no sense in my opinion. But that's it. You know, like I said, it's a 2-star match, and that's all it deserves. Next up, we have Bobby Lashley interrupting Elias's documentary. That's right, Elias is getting another documentary in Elias's storytelling life, pretty much. It's all about his latest, album, Walk with Elias, where Elias is like, oh yeah, top 40s album, I mean, you know, everyone loves the album. The WWE Network stands for Walk with Elias Network, which I thought was brilliant. And then he goes, there's my documentary on there, but it wasn't right. It made me look like a jerk, and I'm gonna do the documentary again, and I'm gonna do it right, and I'm gonna prove to the world. And Bobby Lashley comes out, and Bobby Lashley's just brilliant. It's a good back and forth promo. Elias really knows how to keep up with it. Bobby Lashley, I think. I'm going to say this. Bobby Lashley is an experienced wrestler now. He's now classed as one of the veterans in the company. Even though he's been away for so long at WWE, he's a veteran at TNA. And it just feels like this is the right kind of feud for Elias. He's definitely smashed the glass ceiling which we all put Elias when he first got drafted to Raw. He's really improved so much. All the time he feels like he's getting better and better and better, and his character development is so much better than what, when he first started. And now I honestly think matches like this against Elias, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, he is the guy you can go, well, he's not an upper star yet, but he's definitely at that level where he could do it. And I think the Bobby Lashley feud will work really well. I think Bobby Lashley will teach him a lot in this feud, and I think it will help both men. So I can't really give a mark for this promo work because it's not going to work. But one brilliant bit, Bobby Lashley held up Elias in a suplex. It was brilliant. It was brilliant on that, and the documentarian guys are there recording it and everything, and they're all. Elias is on the floor and they're still recording Bobby Lashley. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. So for me, fun segment, but I just can't give it a mark. Next up, we got Titus ONeil taking on Rezar from the Authors of Pain. It was a quick match. Titus lost. Obviously, Titus is going to lose. Apollo got the win in the first match. They got the upper hand in their little brawl beforehand. So it just made sense that the Authors of Pain should get a win back. Obviously, we're going to probably see one more match against the two where it's going to be a tag team match, and the Authors of Pain are most likely going to win this. There's nothing much I can really say about the match. Titus ONeil is... It just feels like this has just been pushed together because they just had no plans with both Titus Worldwide and the Authors of Pain, so we put them together to have a rivalry. And that's how it feels right now. It's gonna get a 3 out of 10. Sorry guys, it just felt like that type of match. But for me, Christmas did come early this year, guys, because we got the Kevin Owens Show back. That's right, Kevin Owens got his talk show back on Raw, and I loved it. I love Kevin Owens doing just pretty much doing promos. He's really good at him, The Miz, you know, Paul Heyman. Those are the top guys you really, really want to enjoy as heels doing promos. And Kevin Owens is fantastic. His first guest was Jinder Mahal, and he interrupted Jinder throughout the interview, which was great. It reminded me of Jericho. It was so good. I was like, he's taken so many tips from Jericho when they were, you know, partnering up. You can see it when he's doing this, and I really enjoyed this. Guys, if you haven't seen it, just watch it. It's worth the few minutes. He even says, we're going to have a rematch tonight. Jinder, you beat Braun, I beat Braun, and we're going to have another rematch. And I loved it. And then the stage got pulled up by Braun Strowman, and that leads to the next match. But what a good little promo. Good to see the Kevin Owens Show back. Again, it's really quick promo, but so much fun. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. And this moves us on to the Jinder Mahal versus Braun Strowman match. I can't really talk about it because it wasn't really a match. It was more of a jokey. It felt like a joke, and I don't know if that's just because Jinder Mahal was involved, but it's really funny what happened. So Braun's there ready to have a rematch against Jinder Mahal. He puts his suitcase down. Kevin Owens tries to get it first time. Braun chases him away. Kevin gets it finally. Braun chases after him. Jinder chases after Braun. Braun accidentally hits Jinder in the gut with the suitcase. Jinder wins by DQ. Braun goes mental, chucks Jinder in the ring, about to destroy him, where then Sameer Singh gets involved. It's really good. It's every time Kevin Owens is getting involved, Braun is losing recently. And I don't mind it because he's losing because of Kevin Owens, and it's the Kevin Owens promise. It really is adding that extra spice to the feud. Do I mind Jinder Mahal being used as what? Let's be honest, cannon for? Yeah, I don't mind. He's doing nothing right now. It's putting him on TV. End of the day, I would rather see Jinder Mahal on TV getting squashed than not being used right now. And I'm not a huge Jinder Mahal fan. I wasn't a Jinder Mahal fan when he was champion, but using him like this is perfect for a feud with Kevin Owens and, you know, Braun Strowman. So I can't wait to see how this works out at SummerSlam. Will Jinder Mahal get involved at the match? I reckon he will. I think something will happen where Jinder Mahal accidentally costs Kevin Owens the match. So I have to wait and see. So for this, even though it was a really quick match and there's nothing to it really, I'm going to give it a reasonable 5 out of 10. Next up was the match of the night, and of course it was the match of the night because it had Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Of course, if it's got those 3 guys in, it's most likely going to be the match of the night, and it was. The whole match started off with Drew McIntyre and Seth, and I think it was all backstage where Kurt had seen the footage of what happened to Seth last week when he got attacked by Dolph and McIntyre. He said you can have a tag team match, you can pick anyone you want, and Seth chose Roman. They were about to enter to go out to the ring to win Baron Corbin, and Kurt go, you can't do, because Stephanie has said we can't risk the SummerSlam main event match, Roman, so you can't have 2 matches in one night. So Seth goes out and has a handicap match against both Drew and Dolph, and it was still brilliant. It was a little bit quicker. Again, it feels like the matches have to be quicker now because I think they're going to hold a lot back now until SummerSlam. But what they've been able to do and what they've been able to show the fans has just been absolute. Seth was in control for a majority of that match until Drew and Dolph started to really use that numbers game to their advantage. Yes, they had to tag in, and let's be honest, they didn't technically win. The referee made a mistake. Drew McIntyre was the legal man, but Dolph pinned Seth, and they still got the win. It was a referee's mistake, and the commentators did point that out. But that's fine. It was still good. I enjoyed it. Just guys, seriously, just stop this video, watch it. Just stop it and watch it. That's how good it is. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Next up, we got the B Team versus the Revival. This was a non-title match, which was fine, but it was great. We got a new B-Team intro music, which was alright. It was very much cheerleady-like, and the Revival are just good. They are a good tag team. I think everyone knows that when you watch them actually perform. But it's just interesting. I said this to a friend today about the B-Team. They remind me a bit of Edge and Christian's kind of comedy, kind of funny. They're not very serious. But the thing is with Edge and Christian, where they could goof about with the kazoos and 30-second poses, and then in ring they were very serious. With the B-Team, they're very much joke in-ring skills as well. It feels like they somehow managed to get the comedy into their matches, and that's how it feels all the time. They haven't won a match like properly. Like, they managed to slip up and win the matches, and that's how it always feels with the B-Team. The Revival were very much in control. The stadium went black. Obviously Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy got involved. They took out the others, took out Bo Dallas and Dash Wilding, and it was a DQ match. All teams got it was a draw because of the Deleters of Worlds getting involved. But it did announce next week on Raw we will have a triple threat match for the Raw tag team titles. So for that, because it's leading into a title match, and it means that the Deleters of Worlds are still involved, the Revival have been finally added to a tag team title match. I'm really excited. I really can't wait to see next week's episode just for that. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. So we got Paul Heyman's interview with Renee Young, and what an interview it was. It was one of Paul Heyman's best interviews I've seen him do in such a long time. The guy was not clean shaven, bloodshot eyes. He was upset. Paul Heyman pretty much thought, and you could tell, this is the master at work here. He sold it so well. I even turned and went, oh man, I feel for Paul. I know he's acting, but my God, he's good. But yeah, Paulie was brilliant. He really made me feel for him, and that just shows you the master at work right there. Even the Dudleys tweeted how good he was just last night with his promo. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, just watch it, it's really worth it. But I am going to give it a quick score. I'm going to give it it's a really good promo. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. This moves us on to our next match of the night, where we saw Sasha Banks and Bayley tagging up again to take on Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan of the Riott Squad. I can't really say much about the match. It wasn't any better than what we got last week when both teams took each other on again. The only major shock value for it was that Ruby Riott had returned, and that did add an extra little bit of spice. It's good to see Ruby back from injury, so that's always nice, because we don't like our superstars being injured. Let's be honest, guys. We do want them all to be healthy, have a good career. But yeah, the Riott Squad allowed this distraction to pretty much allow Sarah Logan to pin up Sasha Banks, which is fine. Does it affect the Bayley and Sasha stuff? I don't know. We have no idea where that's going. I was hoping that one of them would turn heel at some point. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Ruby Riott's return was quite good. She was in a hoodie. Bayley was about to flip into Liv Morgan, then she pulled her out of the way, so Bayley got injured, and then Liv Morgan kicked her in the face, which was great. But yeah, it was a good shock when Ruby was there. It wasn't a massive shock because, let's be honest, we were kind of expecting her to come back at some point. So for me, I'm gonna give this. It wasn't a good match, but it was good for having. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10 just for the return alone. And this moves us on to the main event of the night, and it was Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox. And it's Ronda Rousey's first Raw match. First match on Raw, that's brilliant. What can I say? Well, first things first, it was very short. And they managed to save some time because they probably looked at the time and went, damn, we need to save some time. How are we going to do it? And they had Alicia Fox and Alexa Bliss cut a fantastic heel promo towards Ronda Rousey, pretty much stating she's a rookie, she's overrated, everything like that. And Alicia Fox and Alexa Bliss do have some good chemistry as heels, and I think that's fine. I think this, we know Mickie James is injured right now, and this is helping Alexa Bliss a lot because she needs someone to take a lot of the damage before SummerSlam, which is fine. But like I said, the match itself was very, very quick. Alicia Fox did have a bit of momentum at the start, but that really soon faded away to nothing. Ronda Rousey pretty much dominated from the start to finish. She looked well OP for me in some parts, but she looks really crisp in the ring, and I like that. There were a few mistakes, but obviously she's still learning. You can tell she's still quite green, but it's very, very, you know, for someone who isn't had like the training like Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox and Natalya have, she is really good. She can hold her own, which is fine. So for me, because it was Ronda's first match and it was a big deal, the match being really quick, which does save a lot of problems in the future for them in WWE, and Alexa Bliss attacking Ronda Rousey when she tried to do an interview afterwards, and Ronda just flipped her out of nowhere, and Alexa just flew out of that ring and just holding the title as quickly as possible. Was brilliant. So for me, altogether, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because Ronda really, again, is impressing me in her in-ring skills. And there you go, guys. That was Raw for this week. What do I think? Well, I think it was a building episode. It was definitely an episode designed to build up for SummerSlam, which is just 2 weeks away. They can't give a lot away right now. Obviously, Seth and Dolph and Drew are the best on the show as per usual. I definitely feel like they're going to steal SummerSlam from everyone yet again. What, you know, it's just crazy. It's good to see Roman getting some really good reactions lately. That really, I think that's really helping WWE's confidence. And Ronda Rousey's in-ring, you know, first Raw match was pretty damn decent, you know. It wasn't anything special. It was, and she took on someone who is technically a veteran in the company. So that's all good. So for me, I'm gonna give this episode a 6 out of 10. It's good enough to keep going on to SummerSlam, but I still think they are lagging compared to what SmackDown's been giving us lately. But we'll have to see what SmackDown brings tomorrow on our SmackDown live review. But if you guys do like our videos, please like, subscribe, press the bell notification so you can keep up to date. And if you do want to follow us on Twitter, you can do. It's at SmackTalkYouTube. That's you and Tube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter as well, you're more than welcome to. It's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.